So you want to work in the fashion industry, but because you don't have any connections or know anyone in the industry, you think it's impossible to get in. Well, it's not. It's possible, and I did it. I entered that door with almost no experience and zero connections. So in this video, I'll share 3 secret strategies that you can use and anyone can use them, as a matter of fact, to get into the fashion industry regardless of your network or your background. So let's dive in. So the first strategy you absolutely need to break into the fashion industry is to build up your skills and portfolio. Fashion is a creative and visual industry, and your portfolio is your resume, the proof of your ability and the way you show the world what you're capable of. Your portfolio is a reflection of you and your work. And when you think about it, it's the only insights that company have into who you are as a creative. But how do you build a portfolio when you don't have any experience? Well, first of all, you need to create projects that truly represent you. Your portfolio should reflect your unique style, perspective, and passions. Ask yourself, what excites me, or what stories do I want to tell through my work? The fashion industry really values individuality. So really lean into what makes you different. Whether it's your cultural background or personal experiences or how you interpret trends, really let your projects showcase really who you truly are. For example, if you're passionate about sustainability, create designs and projects centered around, upcycle materials. When your work genuinely represents you, it not only stands out, but also attracts opportunities that are aligned with your identity and goals. The second important thing to include in your portfolio is to document your process. No one really cares about your final product or your final piece. What companies truly want to see is your creative process and how your ideas evolve over time. What they really want to see is how you got to that final product, not the final product itself. So take the time to document your entire process from start to finish. Document your mood boards, sketches, brainstorming, prototypes, 3D models, and then the final pieces. Documenting your process really demonstrate your creative thinking and your problem-solving abilities, which are way more important than the final product. Companies really want to understand how you approach challenges, and they really want to see how your ideas came to life. Thirdly and finally, for the portfolio, never stop learning. The only way to improve your portfolio is by having the mindset that there's always room for growth, even if you think that your portfolio is already perfect. Ask for feedback from people who are more advanced than you, or students who are already in fashion school, or even professionals in the industry. Getting these outside perspective would help you, refine your portfolio and make it better. And on that note, I'll be opening a school community for people trying to get into fashion school, trying to get their first internship, their first job in fashion industry. And the main advantage of that community is the community itself. People who are trying to get into fashion school like you, or people who already have been to fashion school and tried to get their first job, first internship. The power will be in the community itself. People who are going to help you on your portfolio, tell you what is good, what is bad, what you can improve. So the power of this community will be the community itself. People who can help you get to your fashion goals. So the second secret to break into the fashion industry without any connections is to simply reach out to the people who already work at the companies you want to work for. Here, the strategy is you go to them. But there's a minor caveat here. Don't send messages to as many people as possible without having a clear strategy. Avoid these generic, messages that look like it's being copy-pasted to 100 people. Instead, focus on a strategic and personalized approach. Before reaching out, you need to know who you're reaching out to and why you're reaching out to them. And ideally, you want to reach out to the manager of your position at the company you want to work for. But when you contact these people, whether it be Instagram DMs, LinkedIn messages, or emails, don't make it generic. Personalize each message to show that you've made the effort to go the extra mile. This is critical for capturing their attention and avoiding the perception that your message is part of a mass outreach approach. So here's a simple script you can use. Something specific about their work or the company's recent achievements. This could be, about their latest collection, an ad campaign, or, marketing strategy. For example, you can say something along the lines of, massive congratulations on your latest collection. I especially love the way you blended classic tailoring with modern textures. It was truly inspiring. Then you can add a line that shows interest and engagement with their work. For example, asking a question can add value and demonstrate that, you've done your homework. So here you could say, I'm curious, what materials did you use for the dress in look 27? It seems like neoprene because of how it folds, but I'm not entirely sure. Then you introduce yourself and tell them why you're reaching out. For example, my name is Adrian Fernandez. I'm a 4th-year design student, and I'm looking for a 6-month internship starting in January. I would love to do it at, now you say the name of the brand, Dior, Gucci, or Louis Vuitton, for example. Then you add a link to all your documents, resume, cover letter, portfolio. So here you could say, here's a link to my resume, cover letter, and portfolio. And you always conclude your messages with a call to action. Ask them for a response, or simply, the opportunity or the chance to discuss your application. So here you could say, I would love to discuss how my experience and skills can contribute to, and then the name of the brand's success. And finally, you thank them and sign off. Thank you for considering my application, for your time. Best, Adrian. Now, to find these professionals, these people who already work at the companies you want to work for, you need to put your detective hat on. And LinkedIn is a great resource, to find people, their jobs, the companies they work for. And once you find these people on LinkedIn, found their other, social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, emails, whatever, find them with the information you found on LinkedIn and reach out to them on different channels. And the thing to note here is that rejection and being ignored is part of this strategy, it's a part of this game. So don't take it personally. It's not personal. You just have to learn to cope with it, and persevere. The only way to succeed is to learn from your mistakes, change your approach or your message, and persevere, keep going. And this is the exact strategy I used to get my internship at Dior. I sent a personalized email to the manager explaining who I was, what I did in the past, and how I could help the team. And a few days later, they called me asking for an interview. But getting to that point wasn't easy. I faced tons of rejections from other companies. It was a hard and long process, but I persevered, and each time I faced a rejection, I just changed my approach or changed my message. And eventually, I got in. So the final secret strategy is to put yourself out there as much as possible. Especially in fashion, putting yourself out there, putting yourself and your work out there is essential. What I mean by putting yourself out there is promoting you and your work online. And don't be shy about it. Go all in, put yourself out there. Your work is as much as possible, because the people who are trying to get to the same position as you are not being shy about it. They promote themselves relentlessly. But remember, once again, do it with a strategy. Here, using this strategy shifts the dynamic. Instead of you going to people, eventually people come to you. By showcasing who you are, your work, what you're working on at the moment, opportunities come to you. You don't go to them. And to be completely honest, this is the best strategy you can use out of all three of them. Because when people come to you, you have an edge, you have an advantage. And over time, as multiple people reach out to you, you have the opportunity to choose between each opportunities you receive. So you can start by creating, an Instagram page or a TikTok page where you showcase your work. Whether you're designing, styling, or sharing your inspirations, putting yourself out there allows you to showcase your work, showcase who you are, demonstrate your expertise, and get noticed by industry professionals. And there's an example I wanted to talk to you about is the story of a 13-year-old boy who landed his, his dream internship at Louis Vuitton because his mother posted his sketches online on Twitter. He had drawn some shoes, tracksuits, high heel designs, inspired by the brand. And after his artwork, went super viral on Twitter, Louis Vuitton noticed him and offered him an internship on the spot. This story just shows how simply putting yourself out there and your work out there can lead, to life-changing opportunities. And there's no perfect moment to start. Start now with the project you're working on, or even if you have one single project, put it out there, promote it. By putting yourself out there, you not only create opportunities, you build a reputation that attracts the right people and open doors to opportunities you never imagined. So getting into the fashion industry can feel like an impossible dream when you don't have any connections or experience. But it's not, and I'm the proof it can be done. The three strategies that I've shared today, building your skills and portfolio, reaching out strategically, and putting yourself out there, are the only step I recommend when you're trying to get your first internship or your first job in the fashion industry. It won't be easy. You'll face rejection and you'll feel like sometimes giving up is the best solution. But don't give up. Every step you take is going to bring you closer to that final yes. Yes, we accept you for that internship, or yes, we accept you for that job. So start now, take the first step. Build your portfolio, send that message, or post your work. The only way you fail is if you don't try. And don't forget to join the wait list of the Fashion Launchpad, the school community I've been talking about. The link would be in the description. And if you want to ask me a question, or if you have a message, send me a message on my Instagram and pull it right here. But first, be sure to follow me, because if you don't, I won't see your message.